Hi lovelies and welcome or welcome back. I'm feeling like the universe is blessing me because I just ordered some food and like the number of the order was 4444 and 44 is my favorite number and like my lucky number. So I'm just excited about that. I thought I would get right into the video. My dog is here with me, but I don't want the lights to blind him, so I'm not gonna invite him closer. I have been filming quite a few videos. I've been really, I don't know, connecting to the essence of what made me fall in love with making these videos. That is being vulnerable and expressing myself in an authentic way. As much as I love bringing like new topics of reflection and bringing like new insights to you guys, there's nothing just like seeing someone struggle. There's so much that we can kind of romanticize about our lives and be like, everything is gonna work out, and everything is gonna work out. But it doesn't mean that we're not gonna go through difficulties and face struggles and navigate those struggles. We can always have a positive outlook on the struggles, but there's something so magical about just sitting and talking. I know me and my friends have been, my dog, me and my friends have been entering phases of like brutal honesty with each other, and we've been, I think me and like all my friends have been in such a moment of extreme honesty and really saying everything that we're actually feeling in relationships to our lives, our other relationships, our journeys, and helping each other find that sense of balance in such a chaotic world. It's funny because we always think that our problems are so specific to us and we're the only ones that are feeling those issues, but it's so interesting to see how all of us are feeling stuff at such a large scale, and that our issues, our insecurities, our like problems can be really shared with others because others are also feeling very similar things. I think it's kind of universal for us to be kind of afraid of not being good enough, whether that be sexually, professionally, in your family relationships, in your evolution. And I think, especially nowadays, that there's so much comparison about so many things. I know for like a long while, I'll share with you guys something that is more specific to me. I was celibate for 5 years, maybe more, and the first 4 years, maybe 3 years, I think I'm really bad with dates. Maybe I was celibate only for like 4 years, maybe 5 years. But the first like 3 years, I didn't tell absolutely anybody. It was such a secret to me. I I felt kind of ashamed of it. I know that there's lots of people that think that intimacy without marriage is shameful, so there's a like a dual standard, and there's so much shame around intimacy as a whole, which is something that I really enjoy talking to you guys about because I know that not everybody talks about these things, and we're all experiencing this. I felt so much shame around not engaging in intimacy. I know that in today's society, a lot of our self worth is tied around being desired in that way, and it caused me a lot of internal turmoil to have to like mention it to someone and to open that up for discussion. Internally, I was very secure with my choice and my decision, but once it came to like communicating that to others, I felt really off put by it until one day I decided to open up to one of my friends and just be completely honest. She had opened like a little bit of like a gap in the window for me to feel safe to talk about it, and I just sat there and I just said it and I just expressed myself so authentically. I talked about like the true meaning behind it for me and what led me to it and how I felt during it, how I felt like I would want to leave it, and everything that enveloped my relationship with intimacy. That is something so extremely intimate. And ever since that day, the amount of conversations I've had about this topic with so many different people in such a raw and vulnerable way really made me see that this is a sensitive topic for many people. Many people's relationship with this is kind of skewed, and a lot of people feel insecurities around this. I know when I started to desire to open myself up in that way again, I felt really scared. I felt also ashamed, I think. There's a lot of shame around this topic. And I think this is what I'm really trying to heal in my relationship with this. For a while, I was really scared to ever even engage with anybody. And once I started realizing that it was supposed to be something fun and that a lot of my trauma was causing me to see something that was supposed to be enjoyable as something very scary and traumatic and overall sad, I was able to realize the boundaries that were necessary for me to engage in that in a positive way. And I don't know that I think I just wanted to comment on that if you're feeling insecure sexually in any aspect, know that you're not alone. A lot of people are on the same boat. Lots of people don't mention it, and I think once we mention it, especially to the partners and to the people that we're having relationships with, it's something so much less heavy than I think we imagine it to be. It's something less dense, and I don't know, I feel like we're all kind of on the same boat. And it's okay to feel a little bit uncomfortable. It's okay to be still figuring it out at whatever age you're in. It's okay to be a 40-year-old version like that movie. And it's okay to just, the point, I think, in intimacy is for you to enjoy yourself, for you to have a good time, and for you to share that experience, maybe just with yourself or with someone that is truly worth it, with someone that sees your value and you desire to have that soul connection with them. I personally am not like a firm believer that casual intimacy is good for anybody. I think it's more damaging than constructive in any case, and I don't think it brings what people think that it's bringing. For women, I think it liberates a series of hormones that causes attachment and desire of more intimacy in different ways. And for men, I think it's more superficial than some of the women come to understand, which I think is damaging for the woman's self image and for relationships as a whole because it's not reciprocal. The needs have to be really properly communicated, and we have to really understand what our desires are. And sometimes our desires, we might think that we want to be intimate with someone, but our true desire is to feel accepted, to feel wanted, to feel desired, to feel loved. And that's the way that we find in today's world to obtain that. But it's not easily obtained through intimacy if it's not with someone that truly cares about you and sees you as the individual that you are and not as someone partaking in a transaction, which I think is something that we have to really keep in mind because I know there's a lot of like, let's liberate the woman and let's be like empowering women to have casual intimacy, but I don't think it's as empowering as we're making it out to be. It can be fun, and if you find like a super I'm gonna lay on the other side. My dog is like, where did he go? Yeah, they're cute. I don't know. I think I just have to share it from like my perspective. That is, I was celibate for quite a long time. Until that point, I had basically only engaged in intimacy with boyfriends, and one guy that wasn't my boyfriend, and I really regretted it. And then I was like, no, I need to, right? Because society is telling me that I should, and I felt really trapped in my trauma while I was processing my celibacy and everything. And I have to say, I don't regret engaging in casual intimacy, but I don't think it's necessarily the best thing. I know that it's hard to be like, oh, like I'm just gonna be single and face this possible loneliness. And I'm not gonna say that it doesn't get lonely. It does get lonely. It's hard to accept that even though you have so many people, family members, friends, and all the people in your life, it's different to have a romantic partner. I think the level of like partner in crime and togetherness, if that's even a word, the level of like sharing is different in a romantic partner. It's kind of like you're facing life together. And I've been single for a few years now, maybe like seven, six. There's so much that you can share with your friends and your family. Everybody has a very intense life as you get older, and I understand the desire to find that partnership. And it's not that easy to find someone that is actually worth it. So I understand opening yourself up and going out there and trying. I have to say, I'm also trying. But I think we have to be honest with ourselves. Are we doing it out of fear, out of the need to be needed, or out of true connection and out of seeing true potential of that situation going somewhere? When are we doing it for us, and when are we doing it for others? I wasn't gonna talk about this. I was just gonna talk about the impact of vulnerability on our lives, but I guess maybe someone needed to hear that because I just overshared quite a bit. I'm feeling a little vulnerable, I think is the right word, and a little bit uncomfortable because it's a little bit of an uncomfortable topic. That's why I think it holds so much weight and makes us feel so vulnerable talking about it. But I think it's something that we need to like demystify and like remove the taboo because we're all humans having this experience and it's normal to feel like this. But the only thing that I will say to close out this message, it's worth it to have high standards and healthy boundaries and to protect your peace until you find someone that truly values you. Intimacy with people that don't care for you and love you will never offer you what you think it's offering you. Sadly, I wish we lived in a fairy tale land where we just met the love of our lives like that, but a little bit of patience I think will be required, and I'm pretty sure our patience will be rewarded. Let's hope. I hope that you enjoyed this. I know that it's a sensitive topic. I'm in no way wanting to shame anybody for having casual sex, but as someone that was celibate and then went to have casual sex, I think I realized like dramatically the impact that it can have. And I have to say, the celibacy, although it was hard, might have been easier than the other aspect of the situation, because at least in the celibacy you can count on that, like, you protecting yourself. And when you open yourself up to others in that way, others that don't have like that genuine love for you, I don't know, maybe it's just my personal trust issues of like hyper independence, of like I can only rely on myself to keep me safe. But I don't know, I think you feel it when a masculine presence is going to take care of you and it's safe, and when they're not. And I think, I don't want to like be out here shaming people, but I think most men today are not that safe. And just, I think, I love you. Open up to your friends about your vulnerabilities, your insecurities regarding this, how you're actually feeling, what your needs are, and try to think about it with your friends, because it truly brings so much enlightenment to have another person's point of view and to think about it so you can express it to someone else. I know that it's truly changed my life immensely to have these open conversations with my friends, which is something that I try to bring to you guys. I know that you guys are not talking back, but sometimes it's just like the reflection, and to see someone's vulnerability allows us to accept ours in a more powerful way. So hopefully I was able to do that for you, and you can embark on amazing conversations with your friends and conversations with yourself. I love you. Bye.